Do you think that they had anything to do with your brother's religion, with how he was perceived by this person?
Having heard secondhand from what a very close friend of Yusr's had said, that basically he had said, because of the way you look and not comfortable with the way you look, and I'm really sorry.
It's okay.
The families of Dia, Yusr, and Razan believe the murders were a hate crime, and that the three youths were targeted because of their visible adherence to Islam. Investigators and the mainstream media, on the other hand, have consistently stated that the execution-style triple homicide was simply the outcome of a neighborly parking dispute. American Muslims are appalled by this explanation and see this crime not as an isolated issue of parking spots, but as a symbol of the rampant tide of Islamophobia sweeping the United States and Europe. So it begs the question, are American Muslims overreacting? Are they seeing something that is not there? Or is there truth to the idea that the current political and social environment in this country has dehumanized Muslims to such an extent that one is able to justify executing them over a parking spot? Since 9/11, there have been approximately 100 to 150 hate crimes targeting Muslims in America each year, up from 20 to 30 anti-Muslim hate crimes in the years prior to 9/11. That's 5 times as many. The last few years have seen a steady increase in the number of Americans who are very concerned about the possibility of rising Islamic extremism within the United States. Only 27% of Americans have a favorable attitude toward Muslims, down from 35% in 2010, while 45% hold an unfavorable view of Muslims. These statistics reveal growing mistrust and dislike of American Muslims, and this attitude has at times translated into violence.
That killed one teen and seriously injured another. We've just learned the FBI is investigating it as a hate crime, and the family may have been harassed by the suspect for some time. It happened yesterday outside a predominantly Somali mosque near Admiral and Paseo. An SUV slammed into a car as 2 teens were getting in it. One was 15 years old and was pinned and later died.
Well, sheriff's investigators say the killing of an Iraqi-American man outside a Home Depot earlier this month may have been a hate crime.
This is the suspect, 44.
And a Columbia University professor was assaulted this past Saturday while walking in Upper Manhattan. Dr. Prabjot Singh, who is Sikh and wears a turban and a beard, was attacked by multiple suspects who shouted anti-Muslim statements just before knocking him down and punching him numerous times in the face.
Persecution of American Muslims is on the rise, but how did we get here? We are all familiar with Islamic extremist groups, but let's turn to the other side of this same coin. Who is aiding the terrorists with their false and destructive us versus them rhetoric? Take a look at this insightful article from Vox titled, "It's Not Just Fox News, Islamophobia on Cable News is Out of Control." The article explains how even left-leaning media outlets are contributing to the degradation and religious persecution of Muslims in the public sphere. The article states, while this is often discussed as a problem of Fox News, in fact, both left-leaning outlets and CNN participate as well, normalizing and mainstreaming subtler forms of Islamophobia that may well be even more damaging.
In August, 16% of French citizens support ISIS. Would you describe those who support ISIS as Islamic extremists? Do you support ISIS?
Wait, did you just ask if I support ISIS? And I just answered your question. I said that obviously.
And it's not just the media. Elected officials are also capitalizing on the extremist rhetoric.
Frequently there are neighborhoods where women do not feel comfortable walking without veils. And you're right, no, we don't see that in America. We wouldn't tolerate that in America. But in America, if we continue to allow folks to come in without insisting on assimilation, on integration, this is what lies in our future.
The whole truth is, and we shouldn't let political correctness stand in the way of this truth, the whole truth is that there is a minority of Muslims who condone killing of Christians, but unfortunately, that minority numbers in the tens of millions.
In addition, between 2008 and 2011, over $119 million was given to an Islamophobic network of 37 groups for the purposes of spreading fear of Islam among Americans. And with the Oscars a few days away, the box office record-breaking American Sniper is a favorite to win. despite the blatant portrayal of all Muslims in the film as savages. With the number of anti-Muslim hate crimes on the rise, with 45% of Americans holding unfavorable attitudes towards their Muslim neighbors, with mainstream media outlets normalizing false and extremist portrayals of Islam, with numerous American politicians espousing hate, with millions of dollars pouring into funding for anti-Muslim groups, and with an Oscar-nominated movie debasing Muslims on the big screen, American Muslims are feeling targeted. And this hateful extremism is leading to the dehumanization of Muslims in this country. The thing about Dia, Yusor, and Razan that makes their murders so terribly excruciating is that they were shining examples of the best of America and Islam. They were entirely American and entirely Muslim, and despite the claims to the contrary, they inhabited both of these identities seamlessly and to their society's betterment.
What does justice look like to you and your family?
Justice means making sure that this never happens again, making sure that Muslims are respected, are protected, are cared for, and are not left to live in fear. I was speaking with my husband and wondering, how are we going to raise children in this country if we are afraid for their safety and for their lives because of the ignorance and because of the biased We want to make sure that what comes out of this is awareness, is a spread of love,